another exciting episode of the Dreaded Archer podcast. I'm your host Trey, and today we got one of the baddest men on the planet right now. He's a former NFL superstar, archery hunter, and he's the host of the Wolf Untamed podcast and YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Derek Wolfe. Derek, how you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
No problem, man. For some reason, man, I've been seeing you all up and down my timeline. I'm like, man, this dude is a badass. I gotta have him on my show. And then I listened to your show with Joe Rogan. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta talk to this dude. His story's right up my alley, man.
Yeah, man. Dude, I absolutely, I don't know how is it cussing all right on here? Can I cuss on here?
Man, say what you want. This is
All right, cool.
all
Because it's
uncensored,
easier when
uncut.
I could just talk. When I could just talk, I sound a lot better. But man, I really do. I fucking love bow hunting, man. I'm absolutely addicted to it. And I found it at a young age. I killed my first whitetail with a bow when I was 13, and ever since then, I was just hooked on it. But football kind of not kind of it definitely took like precedence over everything else. I was locked in on football for most of my life, so I couldn't wait to just do some western hunting whenever I got out. And man, I just hit it full bore like right away. And I never imagined blowing up like that. You know what I mean? I never
Right.
imagined that it would blow up the way it did, because I was like calling people, talking to them, like telling them like, look, man, I'm trying to do this. Like I want to be a professional hunter now. And they're like, what kind of you are you stupid? Like, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, this is what I want to do. And they just, but I mean, it was the same thing in football, man. People kept, I mean, people told me I would never make it, and I'll
Oh
never do
man.
this, I'll never do that. And I was like, look, man, I'm trying to be like, I'm not saying I'm the best hunter, but I damn sure could be one of the coolest hunters and one of the a hunter that people can relate to. You know what I mean? And the stupid shit that happens out there that you just try to learn from. But for me, it's been so much learning and being able to, it's something that I was able to dive into coming out of the NFL, because there's a lot of depression and anxiety and stuff that is
Man.
related to you're doing one thing for your whole life and then it just stops. Well, I didn't really have that. I don't have There's some days where I'm like, man, I kind of like right now they're in training camp. I'm so happy not to be in training camp.
But does your body get that like that hey man, we gotta be it's time for us to start playing football? Because I know like when I got done playing in college, like that first, when they got ready to go to fall camp, my body was like, "Hey, man, we supposed to be getting ready to start cracking some
Yeah,
skulls." It's like,
in
"Nah,
July.
we done." Yep, that July you start getting that urge.
that
It's like, "Nah,
I
it's over
start
with."
getting it. Yeah, I start getting that urge. You know what I mean? And start getting like I start my training and stuff. You can see it when I'm training. I start pushing a little harder,
Yeah,
and my trainer's like, "Man, what the hell's wrong with you today?" And I'm like, "It's just I'm used to getting ready for training camp, so I'm always like, I got to be ready. I got to be ready." And it's now it's everything I do is functionality for the mountains. So I can I'm doing a lot of lunges and a lot of squats, and making sure I can pick shit up and put it back down. And, my cardio is right. And I'm trying to drop a little bit of weight, but nothing crazy, because I'm just naturally 280 pounds. So,
yeah.
and when I get below that, I start looking weird because I got a big old head. And I start looking weird.
So is it a like when it comes to working out, was it a hard transition going from being like doing like football style workouts to functionality stuff?
Now, it's more fun doing the stuff I'm doing now. I was kind of over all the football stuff because it's like you can only do so many get off drills and bag drills, and that stuff was fun, but I started it kind of lost it wasn't fun anymore. And then lifting heavy and pulling all the weight that I was pulling, and doing crazy heavy hang cleans and stuff like it was just it was starting to wear on me. It was starting to get kind of mundane. And then, like, when you're a defensive lineman, bro, you're just putting your hands on somebody and hitting somebody with your head every play in practice and in the game. And then, that just starts to compound. And I was over it. I just had enough of it. So now I just do like these crazy high intensity workouts where the whole time you just want to quit. And then when you get done with it, you're like, wow, I didn't quit. So I feel good.
Yep. Like I tried switch over to CrossFit, and I was like, this will help me, for the mountains. And dude, I kid you not, my buddy took me out to this gym, and maybe like 15, 20 minutes in, dude, I was like, I was out. I like kind of worked my way to the water fountain. I got a sip, and then I just grabbed my keys and just rode out the door. I got home and I just stretched out on the floor, and I was like 2 hours late for work. I was like, I was done. And he's calling
Well,
me,
bro,
bro, like, where you at?
I
I'm like,
I don't
bro,
like
I'm
CrossFit, bro. I do not
no,
like it. Like I do not like because you're doing heavy weight with terrible technique and
really fast.
really fast. It's like, I like doing I want my technique to be good so I don't get injured, like that's something that you learn as an athlete is that like your technique is everything, right? So you have to do everything the right way and try to control it. There's a time to work power, there's a time to work speed, there's a time to work strength, and all those things kind of go together. When you do these CrossFit workouts, it's like you're gonna do 100 box jumps and 10 whip snatches, and it's like 15 pull-ups. It's like what are we doing here? And the weight, it's the weight for me, right? So like I don't need to do that much weight. Like people are always like, oh man, I bet you could do this and do that weight wise. And I'm like, bro, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's
Like
over with.
it's over with, bro. I'm not squatting 600 pounds, 700 pounds anymore. I'm not gonna put 315 pounds on a bar and pick it up and lift it up over my head. Like I'm not doing it.
Yep, no, that's and say that for the birds. Save it for the birds.
Yeah, it's dead. Those days are dead.
Oh yeah. Hey, so Derek, before we get started, let the people know a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then we'll jump right into this thing.
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Derek Wolfe. Um, I'm an outdoorsman, a father, a patriot. I played 10 years in the NFL, won a Super Bowl, um, retired as a Bronco, a Denver Bronco. I played 8 years in Denver, 2 years in Baltimore. Then I came back and signed a 1 year or a 1 day deal with the Broncos to retire in 2022. And now I've just been chasing my dreams, hunting and podcasting. I got the Wolf Untamed podcast that's starting to pick up some steam. And I have a hunting show. It's called Wolf Untamed as well, and that's on YouTube. And tomorrow it goes live on Carbon TV.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, sweet.
So
Hey, because this podcast is on Carbon TV.
yeah. I
Oh
know.
yeah.
That's why I was like, yeah. I was like, bro, that's gonna be dope because it's perfect timing actually when you reached out because I knew we were gonna be launching.
Oh, that's
So
great. I
I
love
don't know
Julie
when
and those
you,
guys.
bro. They're the best. Like just the best kind of people, man. They really embraced me and like brought me in. And that's like the other thing I wanted to talk about this community, man. Like when you get, you know how it is when you're done with football, you miss the locker room and the camaraderie. Well, that's what this whole hunting community is like one big team. Like you feel like you're just one of there's some assholes and some douchebags out there that like
Always.
you know what I mean? But that's in you got that in the league too, bro. Like there was always like some douchebags like you just didn't really want to deal with because it's like people talk about like oh the hunting community is a small community. I'm like bro, I'm used to the NFL. There's like 1,500 of us.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like I'm used to that. All right, so this is not small to me. They're just people everywhere, and I just like get all the people I've got to meet. Man, everybody has been so like positive, and the love outweighs the hate. By far. Because people could just be like, man, who's this football player I think he is, bro? Like I've been trying to break into this hunting industry for 10 years and this dude comes out here in 6 months and he's just like blowing it up. It's like, but, but I think it's because the approach that I'm taking, bro, is like, I'm not out here like on a money grab. You know what I mean? I'm out here trying to bring awareness and preserve our way of life because there's a whole nother opposition that's trying to take it down.
Man, it's
So
true.
if we don't stick together, man, we're going to be fucked.
Dude, that's it, man. Hey, you said something big right there. The hunt community, it I love it. It's just it reminds me of being in the locker room just with the guys. Everybody's, got the same goal. Everybody's willing to help you get to that goal as well. And me coming into it, and me and my brother, we was like, man, I don't know if we're gonna be accepted, but hey, let's do it. Screw it. And dude, I was shocked. Like from the first time I walked in the archery shop, hey man, come on, let's get a bow in your hand. And there's everybody just so welcoming. And have you ever been to any of like the Total Archery Challenge or like the Mountain Archery Fest?
Yeah, I just got back from the Utah one, the Utah attack. It was
Yep,
pretty good.
bro.
Pretty good. Bro, you want to talk about like people talk about like how oh hunters are just these dumb rednecks and racist and this and that and sexist. Bro, it's the most inclusive group of people you'll ever be around, bro. They don't give a
Anywhere.
damn. You know what you are, bro? You're not a woman. You're not a man. You're not a black dude. You're not a white dude. You're a hunter.
That's
You're a
it.
bow hunter. We're all out here for the same shit. We're all trying to accomplish the same goal. and that's to try to go out there and chase big elk and big deer, and be good conservationist. And that's why, like, there's not a lot of hate and envy in this game, bro, because like I
Mm,
get it. I know when I played, bro, I played beside Von Miller for 8 years straight, and we were close as brothers, and Von's a big bow hunter as well. But
I didn't
we
know that.
Yeah, he loves the bow hunt. But we had 136 sacks together in regular season games. And bro, every time, and 36 of those were mine. So for 100 times, bro, I was fired, bro. It was like I did it. I celebrated like I made the play. You know what I mean? Because that's how it's supposed to be. It's like when your buddy shoots a big deer, or but hey, but at the same time, if they miss, they're gonna catch that same shit on the other side. You know what I mean? We're gonna give
Always.
them give
Yep.
them hell, right? So that's why it's fun, man. Because it's like a healthy competition, but at the same time, you're still rooting for your boys to like get it done. So it's just been, man. I'm so grateful for the embrace that I've um, been able to accept, and I was accepted right away. It was awesome.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Like it's wild. So this year at Tech, here in South Dakota, my brother, his bow, he had a full D lamb on his bow. Do you know what that is?
No.
So so you got your bow, you have like your limbs. One of his limbs had a full like crack right down the middle,
Okay,
and
yeah.
it was like lifting up. And he was like, "Man, like I'm done. I didn't like pay all this money to come out here, and I can't even shoot." And the guy, like, word got around that his bow was messed up. Dude, the number of people that walked up to us, "Hey man, what's your draw length? I got a buddy on the phone. He can have the bow here like in like 15-20 minutes." Just people trying to call, help him get a bow. And the people over at Bear Archery was like, "Hey man, we got a display bow. We set it up for you here. Shoot it all weekend." And he's like,
Bro,
"Bro," he was like,
that's
"The
love,
community
bro.
came together, man. Like that's the
Hmm.
community coming together right there."
Yeah, bro. That's just a one example of it, bro. Like think about when you shoot an elk, right? Like, have you ever hunted elk?
Yep. I did in Colorado last year.
Did you get it done?
No, I had one come in at hold on, I had one coming at 30 yards, man. He got hung up behind a tree, and I'm still fairly new to this. And I was like, I could probably squeeze it through the branches, but like, I don't want to take that shot and wound him.
Hmm.
And if he just took one more step, I'd have got him. And then the wind changed. He knew something was up, and he just dipped out, and that was my only
And
shot.
that's the thing about being a bow hunter, bro. You have to, like, if you had a rifle, you'd been able to smoke them right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, as a bow hunter, you have to make an ethical decision, right? In that moment, it's like, okay, how bad I so badly want to just pull this bow back and launch one in there, but because you work so hard to get there. So when you just like release that drawdown, release your bow and put it down, and just like accept it for what it is and move on. Like, you almost feel better about it, because you're like, man, I would have just hit him in the, I might have spined him, or I might have
Yep.
gut shot him, or you know, it, the goal is to get that animal the most merciful death you possibly can, because that's our job as bow hunters, right?
Right.
And by doing that, you're giving them a far better death than they would ever receive in nature.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like getting mauled by a bear or something like that. It's like it's
Yeah,
gonna be
getting
quick,
eat,
quick and
they get
easy.
eaten. They get eaten asshole first,
Yep.
alive.
Man, it's bad. It's bad. But when we were out there, there was actually a guy who he got a bull, and he was like, "Hey man, can you guys like help me like pack him out?" And we was like, "Yeah,
Hell yeah,
yeah." But like we walked with them, and we couldn't find it. And then by the time we got back down the mountain, we saw some of his buddies were coming up on a 4-wheeler, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he found it." So like, "All right, sweet." But man, like I wish we could have found it for him and helped him pack it out because that would have been dope too.
bro. Packing an elk out, especially for like your buddy, it sucks, man. Like, it does, but that's part of it, because you expect them to do the same for you.
Yep.
So that's why this community is so awesome, man. Because everybody's out there to help you. Everybody wants to help, and everybody wants to be involved, and everybody wants to see you succeed. Obviously, I say everybody. There's obviously some haters out there, but like, if you don't got any haters, bro, you really ain't doing shit. So
Yeah, yeah, you ain't doing it right.
yeah, if you're not doing, like, nobody, I, Michael Jordan and Deion Sanders always say this. I never met a hater that was doing better than me. Never. David Goggins said it. I never met one that was doing better than me. So if you're hating on me, bro, like, I had Emmanuel Sanders on my podcast, and he said something hilarious about his uncle. His uncles were these cowboys. They like raised him, these crazy ass cowboys. And he said, he said, my uncle said, I got 10 haters. Tomorrow I want 11. That's just, if I got to be doing something bad to have somebody hating on me. So I must be
Exactly.
doing something right.
Oh yeah, for sure. So okay, so check this out. You've been at the pinnacle of football. Every football player in the country right now wants to win a Super Bowl. You've done it. How does that adrenaline rush compare to when you're out in the wilderness?
Bro, nothing compares to a fucking elk bugling at 40 yards and your chest is rattling from the bugle and you can hear his feet thumping on the ground and he's pissing all over himself and grunting and growling and doing that. Like, just nothing compares to it.
Yep.
Nothing. I don't care. Like, I'm talking about sacking Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game, jumping up in the whole crowd howling like a wolf. Bro, nothing compared. I never cried from that. Nothing ever that ever made me cry. Bro, when I put my hands on that bull elk, I showed you him over there, that
Oh
five by
yeah.
five. Bro, when I put my hands on him, I cried because I was so happy. And I was like, I felt so accomplished because I had hiked 60 miles that week. Like,
Ooh.
and then the week before that, I was in Colorado over the counter, and I hiked like 45 to 55 something miles in 4 days and didn't see an elk. So I had put, about 120 miles on my feet just to get that one bull. So I was just like so ecstatic. That there's nothing that can compare to that, bro. Like that, when you're a full draw on a bull elk or on a mule deer, like anything that's like, any animal, honestly, there's nothing that compares to it. Like, there is no adrenaline rush. There is no comparison to me. Like, you can't compare it. It's just not the same.
Dude, to me, it felt the first time I ever went full draw on a deer. Dude, that adrenaline rush just hit, and I boom, let the arrow go, boom, got the harvest. But then the once you get your hands on it, it all feels like natural. Like it's like encoded in your DNA. Like I'm supposed to be doing this, and you get
Yeah.
all riled up, and like I got a little emotional. I'm like, why am I getting emotional? Like I've played football, college, and it's like I never really got that emotional. I've just harvested a deer, and now it's like I'm crying out here. It's weird. It's weird.
Bro, it's the craziest shit ever. It really is so wild to me because and like you said, bro, it's like I'm supposed to be doing this. It's in my DNA. Like, I'm a hunter. I'm a warrior, right? Like, I got to go do all this warrior shit, and that shit was in my DNA. Playing football, playing defensive line, bro. It's a warrior's game.
At
It's for
the
grown
trenches,
ass men.
man. The
Like,
trenches.
in the trenches, bro. Like, that shit is for grown men. Like, that is not for kids. So like, for me, I got to do that, and then you add the hunting to it. When I was in Baltimore, I was hunting deer a lot. So I was like getting my warrior and my hunter fix all in the same year because it was COVID. So I was just doing my meetings from the tree stand. You know what I mean? I'd just be up in a tree saddle. I hunt from those trophy line tree saddles, bro. And it's just like, I just put the phone in my bino harness and just put my one headphone in and just sit there. And I shot so many deer doing that because I had depredation tags sitting over these soybean fields and stuff. So I was getting my fix both warrior and hunter. And when you talk about like that spiritual, emotional, like that grounding feeling where you're like, man, this is like, I feel like I'm like connecting to my ancestors in somehow, like I'm supposed to be doing this, and showing honor to that animal is like the most important part of the kill, right? Like, you want to use every single part. You want to try to get every little piece of meat that you can off that animal out of there. And that's the hard part about when you kill a big 900-pound elk. It might be you and two other guys.
Get
Well,
what you
guess what?
can.
We're going to put 160, 170 pounds on our back, and we're going to get out of here. And that's just the way it goes. You just don't stop. You don't stop when you got that meat on your back. You just keep going.
Right. See, I'd be afraid that a grizzly or something gonna be like right behind me. So like, we gotta
Bro,
get this
that's
shit out.
yeah, and that's the thing. I felt like eyes were on me the whole way I was walking. I got all this fresh meat on me. You know what I mean? And I'm just walking out of the wilderness, and I'm like, man, I could feel the eyes on me. Like, my hair on my back of my neck was standing up. Like, lions and stuff are all looking at you.
Yep.
There's lions that are looking. They smell all that meat.
Oh yeah, because they see you before you even know they around. They just kind of just.
Yeah, you don't see
Posted
them,
up.
bro. You don't see them. They're there's those things are ninjas, bro. Those mountain lions are absolute ninjas.
Hey, now you just was it January? Just knocked down a big ass mountain lion, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, big giant bastard, man. He was huge. He
Well,
was
now
a big,
were
big
y'all,
giant Tom.
were y'all going looking? Were y'all looking for that particular one, or you just out just happened to be
No,
hunting?
no, we just my buddy had called me the night before. He's like, "Hey, man, let's go cut some tracks." I said, "Let's do it," because I told him I said I really want to hunt a mountain lion. Like that'd be awesome if we can get the opportunity. And he was like, "You want to do it with the bow?" And I said, "Hell yeah!" And he was like, "All right, let's go." He called me, bro. We had a fresh snow, and he called me. He said, "Hey," he's like, "I've been out driving all night. I'm not really seeing a lot of tracks, but if you want to come up, we could drive around and check it out." And I was like, "All right, I'll be up at 5 in the morning." So I didn't hardly sleep because I was so excited. Got in the car, drove up there. It was only like an hour drive. Got up there and it was snowing bad. It was like 2 feet of snow. And we got in the truck and just started driving around cutting tracks. And we found some like sub-adult males and a couple females and track wise. And then finally we found these big ones. And he was like, "Oh, this is what we're looking for." And the rest is history, bro. We just started calling people to get the number for the guy that owned the property so we could get on his property to take the dogs through there to the public. And finally, he came outside and gave us permission. He was like, "Man, please get him. He's harassing me. And he's looking at my windows at night."
What?
Yeah, he said he looks in his windows at night. Like he said, this thing he's huge. He's like, he's huge. And this guy was tiny. This is a little guy, little itty bitty cowboy, little dude ranch. And he was like, "Yeah, please get him." So we just took off, man. And you went up, straight up this mountain and back down the other side and up through this drainage. And it was just like crawling the whole way. I was cramping real bad, and I was like falling out. And I got back up to the top of the mountain at like 11,000, and he calls me and goes, "Hey, come straight to this pin." And I went straight to the pin, but really what he meant was come across the ridge and then drop down on the pin. And I went straight to the pin and I ended up on the road.
Oh, dang.
So I had to climb back up once I got down there. So I ended up shooting that lion at 10,000 feet.
Ooh wee, man! I remember seeing the picture of it, and I'm like, he's like 6'5", 6'6", and that his head is touching the lion's head, and his feet touching the ground. Like,
Yeah, bro,
bruh.
it's funny because like when I first picked him up, I had to drop him because I didn't have a good enough grip. I just expect I'll pick this thing up easy. No, bro, he was heavy as hell. I said, "Bro, he's 200 pounds," and my guide was like, he's my buddy. He was like, his name's Alex Nestor. He was like, "No, he's not 200 pounds. You don't know how big a 200-pound cat really is." And I said,
Man,
"Bro,
I
I'm
move him
telling
around
you."
for a living.
I said, "Bro, I move 200-pound running backs around for a living. Like, I know what that feels like. This is like 200 plus pounds." And he was like, "No, you're just tired." And I picked him up again, and his head just was like, boom, right on my forehead. And I was like, "Take the picture." He said, "Move his head." And I just went like this, like shoved his head over with my forehead. And that's the picture you see is me holding him right there. His head is like right here. And he's just like, he was huge. And there was no doctor in that picture. People were like, "Oh, you took a different angle of the picture, this and that." I'm like, "Bro, we were on the side of a mountain. What do you mean?"
You're right. Ain't no doctoring
I
it up.
was
That's
I didn't
it,
even want to take a picture. I was screaming at him to hurry up and take the picture.
man. I mean, I could imagine, dude. One hiking up. You said 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
So 10,000 feet in fresh snow. So that's just loose, and your hamstrings probably burning. Nope.
My
I'd have been.
quads, bro, my quads and hammies were locking up on me, like just completely locking up. And that full body cramp when your forearms start doing that, like
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yep.
doing that. My rib cage was locking up on me. It was not looking good, bro. And then I put that cat in that a Kafaru pack, laid him in a Kafaru striker pack. It's got like a meat hanger on it
Yeah.
on the back, and I laid him across that, so he was like laying like this, like a rainbow, and he was just like dragging on the ground. So I got on my hands and knees and crawled out backwards,
Man.
and it took forever, bro. It was a 6 hour ordeal, and we only covered like 3 miles, but it was just I covered a lot more than 3 miles, but it was only 3 miles from where we started. But I had
But
to go up and down and up and down and back up. you know
man, but hey, but that's the shit right there that make you want to keep coming back, though, man.
Exactly. Most people honestly probably would have quit. I hate to say it, but most people wouldn't have they would have stopped and quit
No, it ain't
because
for the
it
weak hearted.
No, it was, bro, it was hard. Like, it was really hard. It was one of the harder things I've done physically. But I just was like, bro, I'm not letting a cat outwill me. Like, he thinks I'm not coming, I'm coming.
Right?
Yeah.
When I got back from my elk hunt, I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, that was the most taxing thing on my body that I've ever done. Like it sucked. She's like, "But you didn't get nothing." I'm like, "I didn't get nothing, but I learned a lot. I know that I need to be
Yeah.
well in shape because like it's nothing like because once you're up in the mountain, you there. It's you
Oh
there,
yeah. There
and
and
ain't no
nobody
going back.
there's nobody coming to save you.
No, you can't. Ain't no
There's
phone number you
no
can call. None of that.
no, you're so far from anything. There's you're so far from anything. So you have to like really like, and that's the other thing, bro. People come from the East Coast think I'm gonna go elk hunting. And they come out here and they get their dicks hiked into the dirt because they can't handle it, bro. Like, they can't handle the altitude. Like, they think, oh, I did a stair stepper every day. Like, bro, you better put that weight on your back and just walk and really hike. Like, really go out and hike up hills. Like, go out into the woods and find hills and hike up them. Because that's the only way you're gonna get ready.
Oh, that's it. That's it. So you hunt from a trophy no, a trophy line tree saddle.
Yeah,
All right, cool. So now, if you can fit in, if you fit in one, and you comfortable, I'm good because I just got one, and I'm like very hesitant. Like, man, I don't know if I'm a like, I'm
bro, you'll
I'm
be
two
good.
forty
You'll be
five.
good, bro.
I'm 245. I'm scared, but and
You're,
I
you're
haven't
good,
been up in the tree yet. I've only been like ground level, just practicing. But hell, if you up there in it, shit, I'll be good. I'm
bro.
way small.
I'll hang upside down in that thing. Like,
Are you that comfortable in it?
I knocked. So I was in like I was in Ohio, um, 2 years ago. No, last year I was in Ohio, and I forget, it was some kind of maple or something with it was slick. And when I had stepped up onto my platform, my my last stick had like slipped down, and it slipped down to where like I knew it was going to be a problem getting out of there. And I was like, all right, so I literally hung upside down, like put my legs and hung upside down in that thing and reached around. You know what I mean? Like, I reached down and grabbed that thing and pulled it back up and reset it, because and that's how much I trust those things, bro. They're rated for like 10,000 pounds or something. They're not gonna,
They're definitely a game changer. I can tell you that.
bro. It's the best, especially for big guys. Because think about sitting on a lock on. You look like you just stick out like a sore thumb.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're sitting up there like, you think that deer doesn't notice you? I don't care how much camo you got on. I don't care what kind of Optifade other bullshit you got. Like, bro, that's the other thing, man, with the camo shit. Like,
Dude,
these old timers used to kill deer in a flannel, smoking a fucking unfiltered cigarette and drinking a beer, and they'd kill a
that's
giant. And they'd be up on a piece of, like, that's how they hunted. And so like all this camo is, and I know it helps, right? Especially when you're big, but bro, at the end of the day, they don't see color,
nope.
right? They don't see any color, so they just see a big blob in a tree that wasn't there yesterday.
Exactly.
So
Hey, dude, the camo thing that oh, you wear this brand, you wear this brand. Like, man, that don't matter, bro.
it's
Like you
all the
said,
same, bro. It's all the same.
it's all the same. Probably come from the same factory. And dude, just like you said, because my dad, he says the same things. Like, dude, look, these old school cats, man, they went out and like you said, a flannel shirt, a Emmerfoot hat, and was smoking a cigarette sitting on the log.
Yeah.
And they was knocking down world records that still stand today.
Giants, bro. They're
Yeah.
knocking down giants. It's all about, bro. It's all about the wind and where you put yourself. Like, you put
That's it.
yourself in the right spot with the right wind and a little bit of luck, you got a chance.
That's
And
it.
that's why I like using that tree saddle, bro, because it hides me behind the tree. So I just think about where they're going to be coming at me from, right? And I put myself facing that way on the other side of the tree. So now I have the whole tree to block me, and I could just keep my head poked out, so I got an eye out. And then I'll just, like, when I want to rest, I have that bridge, and you put your head in the bridge, bro, and you just take a nap. Like, you sit down into your tree saddle, lean your knees against a tree, boom, take a nap. And everything, and the movement is it's so little movement, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you ever hunted out of like climbing tree stands, bro, but every time I go to stand up in one of those things, it's like I'm like, oh shit. Like, you're moving so slow. Then you gotta like grab your bow off the bow hook, and this thing is so quick, bro. I'm up the tree and set up in 10 minutes, And then sometimes I get up there and I'm like, shit, that tree over there looks way better.
Just
So
get
like
down and go over.
I'll just get down and go over. Like I might be in a dead sweat by the time I get over there, but you know what I mean? At least I'm in the right spot and I don't have to, I'm not thinking like, man, I can't move. I can't move from this spot. I'm stuck here for the weekend or, you know, for however long I'm hunting there because you don't want to take it down and move it. And then it's easy to carry. It's light. You can move. You know, you can get on one of them electric bikes and ride out there if you want. Like you can do whatever you want, and it's
Yep.
just easy.
Because I used to haul around a climbing stand, and dude, that thing sucked, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like getting out the car, putting it on my back with my backpack, and just like this is too much. And then
And it's like clinking and making noise.
yep, and there's not enough like sound. Like I would try to like put like tape around stuff and all kind of like foam. There's
Yeah.
not enough foam or tape in the world that I was gonna like make it quiet. So it's like this
Well,
is
then you got to keep a saw on you because you got to saw your way up a tree sometimes. Like
yep.
that's the only tree that I can get up. You know what I mean? It's so silly, man.
And
And
see,
then
and here
I always fell asleep in those things too because they're too comfortable.
oh yeah, those summit ones. Oh dude, it kind the seat kind of real soft and cushiony. You just sit there and sleep. And I always wonder like when I go to sleep, I'm like, that's when all the deer are walking by. I know.
I know, bro. I'm always waking up like, oh shit, I know there's deer walking through the woods.
Oh dude, every single time. So hey, check this out. So oh dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh no, here we go. So how did you manage or juggle both playing football and hunting?
While I was playing.
Yeah, while you were playing like
Oh yeah, bro. It was tough, man. It was. I was only getting to hunt like a couple days a year. Like I didn't get to do any kind of big game hunting, so it was really just like going down to Texas and hunting some exotics or pig hunting, or going back to Ohio right when the season ended. But if we went to the playoffs, bro, like I'm here till January, February, bro. Like it's like season's over. You know what I mean? So I'm getting like these late season scrub hunts in that just and shooting the first thing that walks by me because you know. So I didn't get to really like plan out a hunt. But when I was in Baltimore, bro, it was dope because I got to really like actually have a goal on what kind of buck I really wanted to shoot and really be picky about it, so it was a lot more fun doing it that way because of the COVID shit. I didn't have to go into the building. I was doing everything virtually, so I had lots of time to hunt. So that was fun. But there was a couple years where I didn't get to go at all,
oh man.
and that sucked. you know.
You know that's like the one good thing I guess about COVID is no one was going into work. Everything was all virtual. And like
Hmm.
that was like I was supposed to be at home working, but I'd be out checking game cameras, working on food plots, and I'm just
Yeah.
yeah, I do make maybe 2 3 hours of work, but for the most part, I was out in the outdoors in the backyard shooting my bow. So like, yeah, COVID had a couple benefits.
Oh, there was some benefits to it, right? But at the end of the day, man, it's you have to. That's the other thing, bro. Being able to practice, right? A lot of guys don't have the time to practice.
Right.
Like you got to make time. I don't care if you only shoot 3 arrows. Walk out in the backyard. I don't care if it's at 20 yards, 50 yards, 100. I don't care what it is, bro. Shoot your bow. Like you got to shoot your bow because guess what? When you get out there, and that's not even going to mimic what happens out there in the woods, bro.
Mm-mm.
Like when you're out there in the forest or you're standing on a side hill, like you never know what's going to happen. We jumped this bull up out of his bed one time on his north facing slope that was steep as hell, and bro, I'm like trying to cam on this hill and I'm sliding down the hill and I'm like, I can't shoot. Like, there's no way I could shoot. Like, I'm sliding down the hill as I got my bow drawn. So like, you can't practice that.
Mm-mm. There's nothing like I've even started doing like some burpees and then running and then coming back and like trying to like shoot my
Yeah,
bow.
I
And
do
like
that too.
and
I
like
do
the
that
first
too. I'll get my heart rate to like 160 beats,
yep.
and then I'll come in here and pull my bow back and do 3 shots as fast as I can, and see what kind of grouping I get.
The first time I did it, I was all over the place. I'm like,
Hmm.
see, I was like, see, I'm glad I started doing this because if I would just happen to be out hunting and I'd have missed.
Well, that's the thing, man. A lot of these guys think that well, shit, I'm a good shot from a tree stand. Well, yeah, and your heart's thumping, but you're not like cardiovascular. Your cardiovascular isn't going, so you're like your muscles aren't aching and your blood's not pumping and you're not sweating. Like you're just sitting in a stand, and your heart's pumping, but it's not pumping 160 beats a minute.
Right.
Like, and you're not breathing heavy, and you're not like you just have to be able to just like bring yourself into that moment, slow everything down, pull your bow back and just
and take the shot.
like that's how I do it, and then I fall out,
So
then
are
I fall over.
so are you strictly archery, or do you dabble with the rifle or
A
crossbow?
little, a little bit because I work with SIG a little bit too. So like they sent me a rifle, but I didn't grow up rifle hunting, so I don't even know I don't even know where to begin with that. So I'm like 98. The only thing I really hunt with a gun is waterfowl and turkey, because
Oh,
turkey are meant to be shot in the head.
right. Dude, I hate turkey hunting. I hate it with a passion, and not because I'm not good at it.
Because
It's
it's
like
hard.
it's hard. And dude, last year I was this is walking spot that I go to hunt, and I've been there like several days in a row. Tom's busting me left and right. I just couldn't get up on one, and like that particular morning, I got out the car and I heard and I just stopped, and they laughing at me. They know I'm back. I was like, I hate you, damn turkeys.
Turkey hunt is like elk hunting almost, right? Because like you can run and gun them, you know what I mean, or you can just kind of sit, wait, set
Right.
up a decoy. Like I don't know, I like running gunning them. And I
That's the
tried to
best
shoot.
way.
I tried to shoot. I missed one with my bow last year, turkey hunting, and I was like, I want to shoot one with my bow. The great white bow hunter. I'm going to shoot one with my bow. So we set up on this tom, and I took a fan. I just took a fan out and ran out and stuck it in it because I heard two of them down there gobbling, probably like 150 yards away. So I ran out there and stuck a fan down in the ground, and came back, and there was nowhere for me to stand or sit. So I'd like climbed up onto this limb in the tree, and I was standing on one leg. Came straight to the decoy, but when I went to draw my bow back, he looked right at me and turned and started running. And I'm like falling out of the tree and just released one at him and just gave him a little haircut over the back. And he just gobbled at me for the next like 20 minutes,
Like, didn't
just
get me.
gobbling. Yeah, got to be quicker than that. I
Oh,
was like, this
dude,
damn turkey.
I can't stand them, man. My first year ever went, I got one, and I haven't. Then I was what 4 years ago, and I haven't got one since. They've been beating me, left and right. But that duck hunting, waterfowl, man, that's my jam right there, dude.
Yeah, I
That's
got
my
to go for
jam.
the first time last year, man, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So I'm gonna go do some public land this year with a couple guys from Yeti, and that's gonna be a good time.
Oh yeah, where'd you go the first time you went?
Stuttgart in
Down in
Arkansas.
Arkansas, yes sir. That's
Yeah,
my neck of the
bro,
woods.
bro, it is lit down there. It's crazy. The birds are everywhere. There's birds everywhere, and they are educated too.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah,
smart as hell.
come through that timber, man. They know, they know
Yeah,
it's on.
they'll come down and they'll be like, "Oh, it's on," and then they see you somehow, and then they just are like, "Abort!" and they get the hell out of there. And then you'll hear
See,
the next group shooting at them over there.
yep. Dude, somebody told me that they said that a mallard or is any duck can see a grain of corn from like 300 feet in the sky. A grain of
I
corn. I was
believe
like,
it.
okay, you believe it? I was like, I don't think so, but
Bro, I believe it. I believe it, bro.
oh,
Bro, I've had turkeys bust me from like 50 yards because I blinked. Just because I blinked. And they like, that made them like get alert. I'm like, what the fuck? How does he see me? And
hey,
it's like,
man,
I was like, oh, I blinked.
something ain't right. They're out there and they know something is just not right at all.
If turkey could smell, you'd never kill him.
No, no, nope.
You'd never kill him. But because they see everything. So I believe it with these ducks. And I saw it firsthand where I was tucked up in the timber real good. But the guys I was with, they'd have their guns sticking up. I'm like, bro, you gotta like, you think these birds are just like trying to get killed? They're not stupid. Like, keep your gun down and then wait for them to get in and then jump up and shoot. But no, they got their guns like up, ready to go. I'm like, bro, this is not gonna work. And they'd get like 50 yards away, and they'd be like out of there.
Gone, man, gone. So tell us a little bit about Wolf Untamed. Like, how did that come to be?
Yeah, so I just was like, I don't know. I came up with a name on my own. I just was like, man, because I was thinking about how like in the NFL you had to kind of keep everything. I could be myself, but not really be myself. You have to kind of keep I don't want to say PC, but you kind of have to act a certain way, and they'll try to hit you with like conduct policies and stuff. So I was like, man, I want my own thing where it's like it's me. It's like, and my name's Wolf, so I was thinking about the wolf, like a wolf untamed. Boom, perfect name. So
Yep.
that's what the name was, and then I was like, I want to start filming my hunts because it's fun. It's fun to watch the shot. And then I shared it with a couple people. And they're like, man, it's kind of cool. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna start filming all my hunts then. So I hired a good camera guy, and the rest is history, bro. And then the podcast was something I always wanted to do, and I didn't have a good name for it. But I was like, man, I'm just gonna keep the same name because it's not just a hunting podcast. It's a lifestyle podcast. So I just bring people with badass stories on and listen to them and interview them and talk about it.
Yep, dude, that's the best thing, man. Just sitting down and talking to people, which is what I love to do, and and hearing people's stories, and just and which is why I had you on. Man, I was like, this dude got like a badass story, man. He's had a bomb ass football career, got done playing football, and just immediately just transitioned over to outdoors. But you were already doing it. You're just doing it full time, and
Yeah.
it's like, and you said it at the beginning of the show, a lot of guys when they get done playing, they have that almost like identity crisis, almost like that depression. And like you didn't have like that. You didn't have to deal with it. You went just football's done. Now I'm full time hunting.
Now I'm hunting. That's the way it went. I did a radio show, a sports radio show for a little bit, but it just wasn't for me. Um, there's too many rules and regulations and things you can and can't say. I'm like, man, this is stupid. I don't want to do this anymore. So it was just, and I was gone like 45 days already. I had, and the fall hadn't even got here yet, so I'm just going to be gone even more. So I was like, I think it's time for us to part ways. So so I can focus on what I really want to be doing.
Right.
So, but I'm grateful for that because it taught me how to like really interview people and um, how to, it was a 4 hour show. So it was like
Oh, good gracious.
every day, so I learned how to keep a conversation going even when you don't want to.
Right. So are you the only one in your household that hunts, or do you got do you have your wife or your kids into it?
No, I'm the only one that hunts. They're really not into it. Like they're just not. Like my daughter, my youngest daughter, I thought she was going to be a killer, but she comes down here and hugs this elk and goes, "Oh, Daddy, did you shoot his head off?" And I was like, first of all, why do you have a weird accent? And second of all, no. I said, no, I didn't shoot his head off. I was like, this is just a mount so that we can honor the elk, babe, so we can like remember the hunt and everything. She's like, well, why did you shoot him? He was just in his home. I was like,
Oh
oh
man.
shit, here we go. She's listening to her mom too much now.
Right.
Because my wife isn't against hunting, but she just is always like, she won't kill a spider, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's just like she's not down to go out there and watch me shoot. I'm like, you like to hike and do all this outdoorsy shit. You will love elk hunting. And she's like, yeah, but I don't want to watch you kill anything. I'm like, trust me, you're not going to be around when I shoot the elk. Like you're going to be far from me, but you're going to
Right.
get to like hear it all. And she's like, oh, I don't want to hear him die. I'm like, what do you think? They just go down there and scream and yell while they're
Ah!
dying?
I'm dying.
Ah, something bit me.
Right.
Like,
Oh, my daughter, she's not into it at all, but she likes eating it. She's like, "Yo, this is good." It's hard to get her
yeah.
to eat food, but she'll eat like deer meat, antelope, elk. She'll eat all that.
Hmm.
So she's like, I'll never kill one, but you just keep bringing the meat back here, and and it's all good."
And I'm cool with that.
Yep.
I'm cool with that. I get it that she does. I think my youngest will do it eventually. I just think that she don't get it yet. So, and she's the same way. Like I brought that mountain lion meat home, and she was ready to try it right away, and she
How
loved it.
how is it?
It's really, bro. You're making that face, bro, but it's
I'm, no,
good.
I'm just asking, like, yeah,
It's because I thought the same thing. I was like, man, I don't know about eating a cat. Yeah. But bro, it tastes like white meat pork, but sweeter. It's
mm,
sweeter than that. It's actually really, and it's crazy because they stink bad. Like these lions stink bad,
like
and
piss.
but I don't know what the hell it was, but really it stank. Like I never smelled anything that stinky in the wild, out in the wild, other than bears stink pretty bad. But this thing was so stinky. Like, bro, I got this picture of this bear that I'm carrying on my back over here. You can see it here.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, I shot that black bear, and I carried him out, bro. And I could never get the stink off me. And that, like, I didn't care how much I washed him, I couldn't get the stink off me.
Oh, where'd you get that one at?
That was Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah, like I got him into like 20 yards, bro. Just smoked him.
Shit, man.
I'm going on a another bear hunt um, next week with the Born and Raised guys.
Oh, those dudes are dope,
Yeah,
man. Those dudes
they're
are dope.
awesome, bro. Like they're the ones that like it, I started their videos are the ones that made me want to like start filming my
Elk hunting.
hunts. Yeah, because I
Yep.
was like, man, these dudes having a good time. Like I want to show people how much fun we're having too. So
Oh,
that's kind of like the direction I'm heading in, man. I like doing collaborations with guys. I'm gonna go do a whitetail hunt in Mississippi in December with Levi Morgan too this year. Doing an elk hunt with Jason Matzinger in October in Montana, and then a mule deer with Brian Barney in Montana. So, just collabing with guys that know what the hell they're doing, and learning from them is really like the move for me.
man, that's what's up. That's what's up. And hey, you gonna be on Carbon TV. So welcome to the Carbon TV family, man. I
Yep.
just I can't wait to see everything you're gonna be doing, and I hopefully we'll get a collab in sometime. Maybe come out to South Dakota. We do a antelope hunt or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun, bro. I'm down. I'm down to do it, whatever. But we can take the tree saddles out and go do some, try to get lucky.
All right, that's
Because
what
that's
it's all
what some of
about.
the best hunts happen, bro. When you just like, I don't know what's gonna happen, and you just set up, and next thing you know, some 150-inch buck comes walking through, and you're like, oh,
Yep, dude.
so you never know.
I've noticed like the hunts where I like, all right, I'm on Onyx maps and I go out and I scout and and I never have much success. But the
Well,
ones
that's
where
because
it's
you got
like
to use Spartan Forage.
Spartan Forge,
Yeah, bro, check it out.
all right,
I
check it
just
out.
figured it out. I just found out about it, bro, and it's way better than Onyx. Way
I,
better.
well, I'm gonna check it out.
It's dope. It's so cool, man. Like, and it's like evolving too, so it's just getting better and better.
They use like any kind of AI technology in it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, see, yep, I gotta try that.
yeah,
I'm big on AI and I'm a big Terminator fan and I know what it's all gonna go to, but I'm ready for it.
yeah. I know we're all gonna be, we're gonna be fighting robots one day, but at the end of the day, man, like if you can give any kind of advantage I can give myself out there to have a successful hunt, that's what I'm going to do. Like, if they got these maps updated and the history of the area, how many kills have been in that area. There's a lot of mapping. There's a cut, like really, there's three good ones out there. But to me, I think Spartan Forge is the best, and I'm not just saying that because I know those guys, but after talking to Levi Morgan about it and talking to those guys from Seek One about it, Drew and Lee, those dudes know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
and this thing is legit. And Aaron Snyder was the same way. He's like, man, this is legit. Like, it's good. I like it. So
Oh yeah, just gotta get out there and give it a try. Get out there and see what I can put down with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, I think
man.
it helps educate you as well. Like, um, what you'll see, bro. Like, just check it out.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
anybody that's listening, bro, go check it out. Like, it's really cool. Like, their maps are even more advanced. You can download the maps a lot easier, and it's cool. It's a good application, and I think it's a huge tool.
Yeah, because dude, I got like several on my phone, and I'm using all of them, and it's like, well, this one's worked, this one's worked, and one of the things they help me with is finding landowners and like, hey, you mind if what I'm saying, hunt your property? And most of them like, yeah, go hunt, and or here in South Dakota, it's we have a lot of public land, but all the best hunting is on private land.
Yeah, that's everywhere. That's
Yep,
everywhere,
right.
bro. That's every state.
Yeah.
I
So
don't care what animal you're hunting and what state you're hunting. If the best animals are always on somebody else's land.
exactly, man. So what I do is I'll find the landowner and I'll like, either give them a call or go to their house. I'm like, hey, and most of them are farmers. Yeah, you got any fence you need fixing? You got something around here I can do, and in return, let me hunt your land. Yeah, come out here, man. We can fix some fence. Cool, I can do
Deal.
that. Deal.
Deal. Yep.
Oh man, hey Derek, it has been a great time having you on the show, man. I'm glad you carved some time out of your day to talk to me. But before we get out of here, I ask all my guests this question. Right now, today, if someone calls you, say, Derek, you can go on any hunt in the world, all expenses paid. Where you going and what you gonna hunt?
Rocky Mountain Bighorn.
Ooh, yep.
I don't care what state. I just want a Rocky Mountain Bighorn hunt so bad. That's the hunt. That's like the pinnacle for me. And I have obviously the NFL like paid really well, so I can afford certain hunts. But these sheep tags, I can't justify it. You know what I
No.
mean? I
Yep.
just can't justify it. you know, 45,000, 50,000, 100,000, 300,000. I can't do it. I can't justify it. My wife would lose her mind.
Dude, we
Like,
actually we had the governor's tag here in South Dakota. I think so it's called. It went for like $316,000 last year. I'm
yeah,
like, good God Almighty.
which I'm all for, because most of that money goes back into conservation.
Yep.
You know, so like, I don't know, do you go to the Western Hunt Expo?
I have not been there yet.
You should go next year, bro. It's dope. And then go to the auction and watch how much money these people spend. These billionaires come in there and they spent. So last year there was, I think it was the Utah, or no, it was the Arizona mule deer tag or something, Nevada or Arizona, something. One of those states with the giant mule deer. It was like the governor, any weapon tag, and it went for like 700 and something thousand.
Good gracious. Did they
And
get it?
then the, huh?
Did they kill did they get one?
Not yet, bro.
Oh,
They
okay.
so and it's crazy because you know how it is. They'll send those, and that's just for the tag, bro. Now he's gonna have $1 million tied up in that thing, into that
Man,
deer. $1 million into a deer. But to a billionaire, that's really like, you know, that's like us spending like a couple hundred, a couple thousand. You know, it's
right.
not his dividends are paying him $1 million a month. You know,
Yeah,
he's
he ain't worried about it. He ain't hurting.
no, no, he's not worried about that.
Oh no, not at all. But hey, Derek, like I said, it's been a great time, having you on the show. But before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find you on all social media platforms.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's Derek Wolfe _95. You can find me on YouTube at Wolf Untamed, and you can find me on Spotify, Wolf Untamed. Find me on Twitter at Derek _Wolf95, and you can find me on Carbon TV now.
Hey, yes,
Wolf
sir.
Untamed, baby.
Well, I'll definitely be tuning in. I'll have all my listeners tuning in, and we'll get that carbon score up there.
Hell yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, brother.
Oh, no problem. Hey, with all that being said, this has been another exciting episode of the Dreaded Archer Podcast with my boy Derek Wolfe. We're out.